so much, Dr. Asmahani, for introducing me, also organizing this workshop and make it good and affordable for everyone, since it is a free workshop. And also, I would like to thank all the participants for attending to this workshop. And in this workshop, basically, it meant to be a basic SPSS workshop. So definitely, there are many people who are expert on SPSS and even have better knowledge than me in SPSS and quantitative analysis. So if you are good in SPSS, it will still help you to revise the things. And those who have very minimum knowledge on SPSS, definitely it will help them to gain something. Overall, we'll learn from each other. So it will be very friendly session, and since our timeline is only 1 hour, definitely we'll try to cover as much as possible. And also at the same time, I want to make sure that you also catching up everything and going with me. First of all, I have shared 2 documents to Dr. Asmahani. Hope she has shared with all of you. The first one is I have shared a demo questionnaire. Another one is a data set. We want to practice on that. So if all of you got that, then we can start off. And first we will start with the software installation. So I hope that all of you have installed the software, SPSS software in your laptop. Then these are the things we are going to cover today. We'll try to cover this. Basically in SPSS, we can do many other things. There are around like 200 to 300 options in SPSS available. So mostly we play around with these few observations. So today we will try to cover all of this. Maybe I will be a little bit fast, but in case if you have any inquiry, you can contact me. Also, you can ask me the question if you don't understand anything. We'll start from data entry. So I assume that we'll make it like understandable for the beginners. So we'll start with the data entry, then we'll go for demographic analysis, then variable computing. We'll compute the variable according to this construct. Then we'll check the reliability of our construct, data normality, multicollinearity, outlier, multivariate outlier or univariate outlier, factor analysis, regression analysis, and independent sample t-test. There are a few other analyses also, like correlation and other things. So if we have time, we'll try to cover those. So let's start with the data entry. So I request all the participants, please, can you please open one new SPSS file, open this new SPSS file. Can you please open this new SPSS file? Not the one I have given you, just a new file in your laptop. Just considering that you are just beginning your journey in SPSS, we'll start from very bottom. So now look at the questionnaire I have given to you. Let me share these documents again in the group, if in case if any of you have missed out. Doctor, can you please share? I cannot find the option.
Yeah, sure, Doctor. I will share.
And to confirm that everyone has it, otherwise it will be difficult for them to go with me.
Okay, I've shared again in the Telegram group.
Yes, yes. Even here also we can share the attachment, right? But time. So dear participant, you can get it in the Telegram group, and also we'll try to attach here also, so you can get the file. There are two materials I have shared already. Okay. First one is dataset, another one is okay. Let's continue with the data entry. If you look at the questionnaire, the first variable we have there is age. So let's get with the SPSS. The first one is the name. We'll put the variable name age. The second is what type of variable it is. Is it numeric or it is comma, dot, scientific notation? So in our case, it is numeric because we are going to put the options for the age. And the width. Width is the how wide or how many characters you need to put on that particular variable. Sometimes variable name is too wide, so then you can increase the characters. For the decimal, you can go for, usually if you have numbers like 1.2 or 1.33 or 1.333, then you go for more decimal. But for our case, maybe we are going to have the number like 1, 2, or 3, or 4. So that means there is no decimal required. And the level you can put the name of your variable, so it will display in the report. It will display in the output of the analysis. And values depends on how many options do you have. So we can, if you look at the questionnaire I have given to you, in the age group we have total 5 options. The first option is 21 to 30 years old. Second option is 31 to 40 years old. The third option is 41 to 50 years old. Fourth option is 51 to 60 years old. Fifth option, 61 and above. So this is the options we have for our values. And for the missing value, for example, if you, when we collect the questionnaire, when we collect the data, maybe there are some unusable or there are some missing information. For example, maybe the participant has not filled up anything for the age. So that means for the particular questionnaire or for the particular participants, they did not put the age. So age is missing for them. So you can make a number which will say that this number represent, if you put, for example, if I put this number, so whenever I am doing the data entry, if any missing value happens, then I will put this number. So machine can, SPSS can easily recognize that this respondent is missing for this particular option, for age or for gender, for anything. And the column, it also alignment, you can fix it. The alignment, you want to put the left side, right side. This is one of the important parts. Most of us do the mistake here. This is the measure. So measure is we have to define our variables into the scale in this section. So basically, we have to define according to the characteristic of our variables. For example, if there is first one is a scale. If we have any particular measurement scale, for example, Likert type of scale or any other scale it could be, so we have to consider this as a scale. That we have our own measurement to measure that particular variable or construct or indicators. That will be considered as a scale. And ordinal is when we have the ranking. For example, education level. In education level, we have the ranking. It is like going number 1, number 2, number 3. It is going up or going down. It has the ranking. For example, the order has to start like someone did bachelor degree, then postgraduate, then also it could be the master, then PhD. So it has the order. So we will consider it ordinal. The nominal one is it does not have any ranking. Also, it does not have any relationship to each other. That means, like for example, if gender, so it is either male or female. So it is completely different. It does not have any ranking or any order. Even for the country name, region. So this type of variable will be nominal. So if I explain to you more easily, for example, if you look at the button for the scale, you can see there is a picture. There is a picture for the scale. And ordinal is, you can see the order. You can see 3 orders over there. If you remember that you primary school running competition, number 1, first position, second position, third position, you can see the order here. If you look at the icon, you can see that there are 3 ordering to each other. And the third one, the nominal one, you can see the number. Yeah, you can see the color, different colors. So they are completely different. One is red color, another one is blue, another one is another color. So they are completely different. So from here also you can realize that which scale it should be. But I have to tell you that there are some school of thoughts, like in terms of a scale, in especially from economics, they consider some of the age group or other groups also consider the scale. So there are different school of thoughts. So what we are talking here is about the social sciences, because statistics, SPSS is made for social sciences. Okay, so this is the first variable we have put. So can we go to the next one? I want to practice 2 from socio-demographic factors. Then we will straight go to the variables in. I have provided you the questionnaire. There are 2 variables. Then we'll go to those variables. So we'll practice one more from socio-demographic. So let's go to the gender. So first we have to put the name of the variable. Then definitely our variable is numeric. And width, we can put 8, and decimal, we make it 0 because we don't have any decimal, 1.1, 1.2. We don't have that kind of options in our variable. So here you can we can still put gender, because this level will show display in the output. Then value number 1 is male and 2 is female. Then again, for the missing value, you can put anything you can recognize, as long as you can identify later on this is missing value, that's fine. And column, it can be the same, it does not affect your data. And oh, sorry, I forgot to put the measure properly for the previous one. And the next one, gender, will be definitely nominal. And previous one is the age group. Age group, it has to be ordinal. So it has the ranking to each other. Like it starts from the bottom, it goes up. So it has the ranking. So these two from socio-demographic factors. So now we'll straight go to our questionnaire to check the variable. In questionnaire, you can see we have two variables in our questionnaire. Dr. Asmahani, can you see the document file questionnaire?
Yeah, you can see.
Okay, thank you. I just want to confirm that everything is going fine, because sometimes I also find the technical issues. Okay, anyway, in this demo questionnaire, and here we have the demo framework. We have one independent variable and one dependent variable. Limited time is our independent variable, and overall satisfaction is the dependent variable. So just don't worry about the understanding of this variable. We are not going to learn that. We are going to practice our SPSS tool based on this. So limited time, in order to measure the limited time, we have total 4 items here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 items that the combination of these 4 items become a construct for limited time. And we have another 4 items to measure overall holiday satisfaction, and combination of those 4 items becomes a constructor of overall satisfaction. So first of all, limited time. So now we are going to key in the limited time, 4 items for limited time. Let's practice the first one. So now we go to the SPSS file again. Okay, now we are in the SPSS file. You can see limited time. So you can put whenever you are keying in your variable, you can put any name that is comfortable for you. For example, if I prepare like this, a limited time LT1. So that means I'm referring to the limited time item number 1. Item means questions, item number 1. So I'm referring to the first question of limited time. So your numeric and this decimal will be 0, and this one we can put the question also can. Also we can make another level like limited time first question, anything you prefer. I put the full question. Okay, now we have to put the value. So for this research, we have strongly disagree until strongly agree. The number 1 will be strongly disagree. Number 2 will be disagree. Number 3 will be neutral. Number 4 will be agree. Number 5 will be strongly agree. Number 5 will be strongly agree. So this is the way we have to put the value. So for all the items like limited time, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, all the items we have to put the value like this. The same way we have to put the value. For example, if you look at a scale, you have a scale 1 until 7, then we can put 1 until 7. So whatever value you have, then we can put it back here. For the missing value, and this is definitely a scale because we have put our questions in certain scale. This is a Likert type of scale. We are putting this scale. We are considering this scale to measure this certain items and constructs. So, that's all for the practice of data entry. I don't want to show you all because we have limited time. I think we have already key in 3 types of variable. So one is ordinal, one is nominal, and one is a scale. So I hope this will help you to practice out. If you practice more, then it will become very easy. So now we'll go to the state, or we will go to the analysis. For the analysis, please go to the data set I have given to you. Please go to the data set I have given to you. Okay, so as per our schedule consent, so we are going to try one by one analysis. So for the data entry, we have shown some of the practices. Then we'll continue with this. So we will do the analysis from the data set I have provided. First of all, demographic analysis. For the demographic analysis, we can look at in many ways. First, we can go for the frequency. What are the frequencies? For example, for the demographic factors I have in this data set is age, gender, race. So you can take all together, or you can take one by one. Both way possible. Then we can go to the statistics if we need any special, like for example, if you want to know the mean score, median, mode, or sum, or if you want to know about the skewness and kurtosis of these variables, that is also possible from here. So many of us like the bar chart, pie chart, and histograms about this demographic distribution. We can choose those. Or we want the values to be ascending or descending order. So let's see. So this is the output of demographic distribution of the dataset I have given to you. So first of all, we can say that the total 30 respondents in the dataset, out of 30, we'll just discuss one. For the age group, 21 to 30 years old, 13. For 31 to 40 years old, 14. And 41 to 50 years old, 3. So, and you can see the percentage at the right side. You can see the percentage: 43.3%, 46.7%, and 10%. So that are the distribution. We did not choose any bar chart or pie chart. If we choose the bar chart and pie chart, it will come according to that. So that's for the demographic analysis. For the next one, we will move to the variable computing. So why we need to compute the variable? So this is very strong, very important concern, that why we need to compute the variable since we have cleaned the data already. So if you are very familiar with SPSS, definitely you know that why you need to compute. If you are a basic learner, so you need to look at very carefully. For example, in SPSS, we have many types of analysis. Especially for regression and correlation analysis, correlation analysis, we have to compute the variables. Okay, let me show you the framework again. Okay, for example, in our study, we have two variables. First one is limited time and second one is overall satisfaction. But limited time is a construct, but it has 4 items. It has 4 items. It consists of 4 items. So that means if we want to do the regression analysis, we cannot go for 4 items. We cannot go for 4 items. We have to make these 4 items into one. That's the basic. We have to make these 4 items into one and make it one construct in order to see the influence of limited time on overall satisfaction. And at the same time, we have to do this for this one also. We have to combine these 4 items and make it one in order to consider it as a variable for regression analysis. So these 4 items we have to combine. That's the overall conclusion. Because now this item does not fully represent to limited time. Also, this item does not fully does not fully like represent to limited time. All these four represent limited time. So that means we have to combine all these four and make it one as limited time. The same thing we have to do for, we combine all these and make it as one as overall satisfaction. So that's the way we have to do. Even though in other software for the PLS and AMOS, we don't have to worry about this. We can just simply take our items and put into the construct. But in SPSS, we have to do it manually. That's the beauty of SPSS, I would say, because for me, SPSS is one of the like most sophisticated software. If anyone comes to me for learning PLS or AMOS or any other software, I always suggest them, please learn the SPSS first before you go for any others. So let's just start with the how we can combine these four items and make it one. For example, if you have 10 items in your variable, you have to combine 10 items and make it one. So in our context, we have 4 items for limited time. Let's go and do it. Let's go to our original data set again. The data set I have provided again for the same data set. Okay, so now we will combine these 4 items. Limited time, 1, 2, 3, 4. We make with these 4 items, we combine and make one. Maybe I explained 2 things, same things 2 times, 3 times. I just want to make sure that you understand properly. Okay, we go to the transform first, transform and compute variable. And you can name the variable. For example, we can make it mean. Actually, combine means we are taking the mean score. We are taking the mean score of these 4 variables and make it one. Yeah, these 4 items and make it one. So for the mean, you can name as you like, but at this moment, okay, I can write a mean score, mean limited time, LT. Okay. So after this, you have to choose the function group. So for the function group, you can choose all also can. Also, if you want to put only, you can choose only a statistical, that is also can. Then go to the mean. Then when you double click here, you see, let me show you again. When you double click here, you see there is in the box, there is something already, mean and the 2 question mark. Actually, previously we used to do these things all manually, but now maybe in the single click also help us. So we just click one time, double click one time. If you don't want to put the double click, also you can look at the instruction here. This is the instruction actually. You can look at the instruction. First, you have to write mean, MEAN, all capital letter, mean, 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 then bracket. Then you have to take the items, the first items. First items, either you can take as like, you can click first and you can click on this arrow, then it will go there. Then comma, this is one of the ways to take. Another way, you can double click here, it will go there. But when you have 9 to 10 items or even more, you have to be very careful that you are taking all the single items carefully and there is no missing items. If there is any single missing items, definitely it will impact, it will affect to your result. So number 2, then comma. Even we cannot miss a single comma here. If we miss a single comma or anything, then machine will not take that. Then comma, number 4. So after that, we have to close the bracket. So now you can see that at first we have written mean, then limited time 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure you don't miss any comma and no space in between. Just as usual, put it and follow the instruction. Then after finish, closing the bracket and just click OK. So now you can go back to data set again. You can see the number 20 here. This is a new variable. So this one just came from our recent output, mean score of limited time. The same thing we are going to do for overall satisfaction, this variable. compute, then please, if you notice that I am talking but you cannot see the proper slide or proper things, then please let me know. Maybe there are some, maybe I have to reshare back the slide for that. Okay, no, not this one. Okay, this is the one I want to share now. Dr. Hani, can you see this one, this compute variable new page?
Yeah, can see.
Can see, okay. Maybe previously it was missing, right? The recently, the last one? Okay, so okay, let's move on, no problem. For the at first we have to click on the transform. They are transform from your main SPSS file. Then after that transform, after this compute variable, then this one will come out. Okay, so when it comes, then you can name your target variable. For example, this is the overall satisfaction. I want to name it mean, then overall satisfaction OS. So now you can move to the statistical, then mean. You can double click here. That is one of the options. Other option is we can write down mean name manually and start the bracket. That is also can. Then take the items from the left box. The first item, first of all, you can take the items by clicking here and click on the arrow and put the comma. Don't forget about the comma. Then second option is you can double click the item. It will go automatically. So after that, we have to close the bracket. After closing the bracket, then just simply click OK. Then there will be a new variable in your data set, in your variable list. Okay, new variable is already there. So this is the way we compute the variable. So there are like even I saw many people used to compute it in other ways, but I find in many good sources that this is one of the like good approach and the right way to do it. So now we'll move on to the our compute variable is done. So now we will move on to the next one. Our next is reliability analysis. Reliability analysis. Reliability analysis usually you go for the skill, then reliability analysis. So it is, I saw that many people used to do the mistake on reliability analysis, like they find the reliability of the this mean score. Actually, this is completely wrong. You cannot find the reliability of this mean score. Reliability actually we have to do for the items. We have to do it for the items. Okay. So for the reliability, please click on the analyze and then reliability analysis. Then new box will come. Let me share again. So after this, we have to choose the items. For the limited time, we have 4 items, and reliability we have to do separately for all the variables. We cannot take all together because they are not in the same construct. So we cannot take them like, for example, both variables together. No. So we have to take only limited time, the 4 items. So we have to take this first. Then what we are going to see here, we can play around also, like if you want to see if certain item is deleted, what happens to your reliability. We can choose this one. So now our Cronbach alpha value will come out. Cronbach alpha. So okay, this is the Cronbach alpha value for these 4 items. Cronbach alpha is 0.654. So I don't want to say that it is very high or very low. You go and follow according to the literature. Those are big bosses, methodological bosses. You follow their instruction. What is the standard value for Cronbach alpha? What is the standard value for other things? We have to refer to those experts. So you can see that for the limited time question number 1, if this at the right side, if this item is deleted, then Cronbach alpha become 0.525. So that means this item holds very high power, because when it's deleted, that your Cronbach alpha become very low. But at the same time, if you look at the limited time question number 3, if you delete that item, then Cronbach alpha becomes 0.735. So that means this item is taking like most of the Cronbach alpha. So if we delete this item, that means that our construct will be even more stronger. It will become 0.735. So this is the way we have to check the reliability of the construct. For the other one, we can go straight away. For the overall satisfaction, then we have to delete the previous one. Overall satisfaction, 4 items, then go straight away. So this Cronbach alpha value is 0.833. So for the look at the first item, if we delete the first item, it becomes 0.821. So that means it does not actually increase, even it decreases from the full construct. So in this construct, we can say that all items actually like very much close to each other, and they are really in a construct. If you delete one item, that it the Cronbach alpha decreases immediately. So now this is the reliability test. Now we'll move on to the next one. Our next analysis is data normality. How we can check the normality? So normality we can check in many ways. So one of the ways I am going to show you today is we can look at the normal distribution and also like squeeness and kurtosis. You can go to the descriptive, first analyze, go to the descriptive, explore, then take all 2 variables. For the normality plot histogram, we can choose histogram. Histogram actually, basically histogram will show us that how the distribution is. If you look at this histogram, this one on view screen, yeah. If you look at this histogram for a limited time, you can see that it is not properly, not normally distributed, because if you look at the curve, it is going up and down. It is not a fully shaped that we are looking for. So it could be either this bell shape. So for same goes to the overall satisfaction also. And there are many school of thoughts that either your data has to be normally distributed or not distributed. Still, there are many justifications available because many of the PhD students, they face the problem after collection of data, and while doing the analysis, we find that our data is not normally distributed. But there are some school of thought that without normal distribution, we can carry on. There are other school of thoughts that it has to be normally distributed. So it depends on how you justify the things. But I have seen many theses is normally distributed, even from very good university. So next one, we'll move on to multicollinearity. Multicollinearity, I will show you while doing the regression analysis. Then we have outlier. Outlier for the multivariate outlier. For the multivariate outlier, I want to provide you a video, my own video. So I will provide you the link. You can look at there for multivariate outlier because the process is very lengthy. So you can look at like how I have shown the process starting to the end, very detailed process. So you can look at and learn. Maybe you can practice many times you want. It is in medium is English. So let me share the video link with you for the multivariate outlier. This link is for multivariate outlier. I hope you have got it. And for the next one, we'll move to the factor analysis. Before we go to the regression analysis, next one we'll go to the factor analysis. Okay, I prefer this one. For the factor analysis, you can go to the main data set. Still the same, the functions are same. I prefer to use this one. Okay, factor analysis is also called the dimension reduction. There are many ways to do the factor analysis. For example, we can do the factor analysis confirmatory factor analysis and exploratory factor analysis. But today we don't have enough time to discuss those in detail. So I will just show you the basic factor analysis. First, you go to the dimension reduction. Then you take all the items together. All the items together you take. And go to the descriptive option. If there is anything like you want to add additional, you want to look at like KMO, usually Kaiser-Meyer. Usually we look at this KMO. Then in extraction, you can get like what kind of variance you want. Either you want correlation matrix or covariance matrix. Rotation, if you want any rotation, then you can put the rotation. For this case, we will not put the rotation. If you want to make any cutoff, like you want to take the factor loading until 0.30 or 0.20, then you can click on this this button. Then you can fix it. Like I want to take all the factor loadings if they surplus the minimum cutoff value. Like if you want to put the cutoff value 0.10, if it is less than 0.10, then it will not come to the factor. So it will not consider the part of your construction. So you can put at the cutoff value here. For this case, we will not put it. We'll just look at the basic factor analysis. Then put OK. Then you can look at the factor loading. You can look at the factor loading. Also like Kaiser-Meyer KMO value. Also chi-square value, level of significance. So these are the things while we are doing the factor analysis. And we have another 14 minutes. Let's go back to regression analysis now. For the regression analysis, as I have told you earlier, that for the regression analysis we must have these items. We must have, just to remind you again, for the regression analysis, for example, if you have 4 items, it has to be combine and make it one, like limited time. We have already computed that variable, so we have already in our data set. The same thing happens to this one, also we have in our data set. So now we will look at, by regression analysis, we will look at the influence of these independent variables on dependent variable. How limited time is going to influence on overall satisfaction of particular respondents. We'll look at this. So let's go to the SPSS file again. Okay, for the regression analysis, today we'll do the linear regression analysis. Go to the analyze, then regression, then linear. Okay, so first we have to choose our independent variable, a dependent variable. So at our in our framework, or overall satisfaction is the dependent variable, and limited time is independent variable. So we can explore this one also if we need any additional thing. Like as I have told you, I will show you the collinearity during the regression analysis. So at this moment, you can choose this option also. This option will give you the value of variance inflation factor. So by that, we can say that either our construct is collinear to each other or not. Plot, if we need the plot, histogram, normal probability plot, it will show. So this of the one of the things we can look at again, as I told you before, that when we want to check the normality and other things, there are many ways. Here also we can put the option to check the normality, but previously we did in another option. So there are many ways to do it. So at this moment, we don't need to change all those. So let's go to the result. So the result already there. I want to share. So this is the output of the regression analysis. Okay, regression analysis. The first we look at the variable entered or removed. You please carefully check whenever you get the output of the regression analysis. Please check carefully that your all variables you are supposed to put in all are there. Okay, variable entered and removed. So variables entered is limited time and dependent variable is overall satisfaction. And we can look at the model summary. Model summary will show us what is the value of R square and what is the adjusted R square. R square value usually defines that how many, like what your independent variable is explaining to your dependent variable. So in this case, R square value is very low. So it means that independent variable is not really explaining anything to dependent variable. And you can look at the ANOVA. If you look at the ANOVA, then you can find the F square F value, also significant level. So we can see that it is not significant at all, because usually significant is, we know the rules that it has to be like, it should be less than 0.05. Also, if you look at the coefficient value, unstandardized coefficient and standardized coefficient, beta value. So it is all the way, it is very low. So it doesn't matter. So it depends on your specific data sheet and your questionnaire. Also, if you want to look at the collinearity statistics, you can find the VIF value, variance inflation factors, and also tolerance value here. This is the tolerance value, this one VIF value. So it will be definitely different when you have very big data set and very long questionnaire. So it will be different. So at this moment, this is the output of the regression analysis. So now we are moving to another one, the last one of our session today. That one is independent t-test. A t-test we can do even from here, t-test. Okay. The first of all, I would like to tell you that why we need to do the t-test. T-test is basically how your respondents group, because in each respondent group you have many types of respondents, because they are from different background, they are from different age, they are from different gender and different race, also different social status. So we are going to look at that how different respondents, like different types of respondents, respond to your questions. For example, in t-test we can look at the two categories. Gender we have two categories, male and female. So we are going to take in here, I'm going to explain again anyways. Okay, let me give you the example again. In the t-test we look at how different or how significantly different your respondents respond on particular question or particular construct or particular variable. For example, if you are measuring the customer satisfaction in KFC, so if you compare that, how male respondents think about the satisfaction level in KFC and how female respondent consider the satisfaction level in KFC. So maybe I'm just giving the example. Maybe the male people, maybe the male, they don't like KFC more, or maybe female, they like KFC more, or male, they have their own way to judge the satisfaction, and female also has their own way to judge the satisfaction. Maybe the male, they look at the pricing in terms of like when judging the satisfaction, they look at mostly on the pricing. Maybe female, they look at the food quality. So there could be different opinion from male and female. So by t-test, we are going to look at how male and female respond to particular question and how their opinion can be different. It can be for the gender or it can be for any groups. For example, wherever we have two items, we can do the t-test. If we have more than two items, then we go for ANOVA. So t-test we can do for gender, two categories. Also, like for example, in tourism context, we say that local and international. If the respondents is local or international. So if international, their opinion can be definitely different from the local. If local, their opinion also could be different from the international. So that is the way this is the way we identify if there is any significant differences in terms of gender groups. So in our case, gender has two groups, male and female, and we take this one as an indicator that how male and female respond to this particular question and how their opinion can be different. So we can take more even more content, like we can take as much as possible. If you have many items, you can take it. So this one is, for example, let's see the first one. First question is for limited time, question number 1. So for that particular question, male respondents, their mean score is 3.00, and female respondents, the mean score is 3.4762. So that means we can conclude that female respondents mostly agreed with these items, like the statement has, like the question was provided to them. Maybe we can look at you can look at the questions again to refer to the match with the example. For the limited time too, also mean score is very high for the female. So they have put more ratings when we try to measure our items in measurement of Likert scale like 1 to 5. So this is the beauty of t-test. So there are still many other tests available in SPSS, but for the time being, what we can cover by this 1 hour, we tried our best. And I would like to thank you so much again for attending to this workshop. I hope that you have obtained what you have expected to be. And thank you so much to the organizer, BOFIN Event Management, for organizing this event. And if you have any inquiry, we can make a quick question and answer session. I leave it to Dr. Asmahani for further consideration.